Hi everyone, my name is Rob and this is the class report. First, it's available under the Tools dropdown. Second, if you have a paid plan with XDate, you have access to these reports. When filtering, use class or SIC code, but don't use both at the same time. SIC will give you a larger pool because all of our footprint has this data, whereas class code provides data specific to the class, which is what matters on a quote. State level filtering is also available. At the top is summary data for the sample and a total record count broken down by single state or multi-state businesses. Multi-state is a business with active work comp coverage in 2 or more states. Below that is an annual scoreboard, total retention or renewed accounts, won and lost business. Any report ranking carrier group is based on volume. One thing to keep in mind is that the premium we see represents 1/4 of our footprint, whereas the number of policies represents about 2/3 of our footprint, since we're using class code, and that there is not an even distribution of policies across states. While it seems like a lot of words and numbers to look at, there are some quick points of interest you might find. For example, Berkshire, who has a lot of restaurants, has lost 122 more than they've won. That's a net decrease of 5%. You can also download these tables, so if you're handy with Excel, you can create a macro to automate number crunching. The next section of reports focuses on LCM filings. If you're unfamiliar with loss cost multipliers, there are resources in the description for reference. The short answer is they are rate filings, a numerical value that influences the rate an insured is charged and filed by the carrier. So higher the LCM, the higher the rate, the less competitive the carrier. These are used in competitive rate states, which most states are. And that is why each carrier in a group has their own filing to be competitive when they want to be. The top focuses on average percentage change split between one business and renewal accounts for an annual period. To the right, we trend the monthly average LCM split between new and renewal business. Here we're looking to see if a carrier is getting more or less aggressive on both new business acquisition and retention. I'll point to Markel's renewal LCM dropping on January renewals as an example. You can also hover over the chart to see the number of records at play. Below is a composite rate trend for the class, a bit more relevant to an insured. So on average, businesses that switched saw an 8.5% rate decrease in the month of January. Those that renewed as is, a marginal 1.3% increase, but those that got switched underwriting companies, meaning they stayed with the same carrier group but got moved to a different tier, saw a 16% rate increase. On the surface, all this volatility amounts to about a 2% increase from the prior term. To the right is some reference material. Instead of listing each underwriting company's LCM, we created tiers to show the spread from lowest to highest LCM used for the class. The color coding is by tier, so dark blue is the lowest or best tier, red is the worst. There is no way to make it downloadable, but it does copy paste into a spreadsheet pretty easily. At the bottom, we're looking at premium change. There are more variables at play here, but a similar pattern of increases for renewals and decreases for new business. And by variables, I mean an increase in number of employees, for example, would likely increase payroll, so premium would increase with exposure, but more employees would not affect the rate itself, for the most part. These charts are set up the same way as the LCM charts, but for premium. Note the premium summary chart filters records without premium, so the average premium per account is an accurate representation. Also worth pointing out is that the ball size represents the premium at play for the month. It's helpful for validating or disregarding a drastic change, if nothing else. I did investigate new business increases, and there are a number of reasons. Midterm changes, which skew the calculation, non-renewals, growth based on benefit enrollment, acquisitions, which you do have some visibility of in the location schedule, which includes the year it was added now. But there's plenty where there is no answer based on the data, and hopefully some of these reports will help you reach those prospects with a message they'll listen to. We'll wrap up with the premium matrix. This distributes the number of accounts by premium bracket. This graph does not copy-paste into a spreadsheet, unfortunately. That's it. I hope you find exploitable information on here to better your production.